So LL Cool J, and I don't think I did this one, but I'd do it again if I did. I whatever. It was interesting because everyone jumped on about his Mount Rushmore Def Jam. Some people thought he was going to be hating because he didn't want to include Jay-Z, didn't want to include Kanye. And we're talking hip hop. We're not talking about the artists that were on it because I watched Marcellus Wiley talk about it. We're talking about the hip hop era. But LL Cool J put himself, because I don't do no late, I don't drag it all out. I get to the meat of the chase, the vegan of it, the vegetarian of it. LL Cool J put himself, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, and Slick Rick as his four Mount Rushmore figures. And some people got mad because Jay Z, Kanye, DMX weren't included, and uh, Jeezy, and Luda. Well, they came later, and their careers were different, and they weren't part of the established brand. But let me break down the four that he picked, including himself. He was the first artist signed to Def Jam. He was front and center and a main fixture for 2 decades where he had 3 hits decades, but two where he was legitimately big time. So, of course, you has to be the face of Def Jam. Who else but to represent? You know, he'd be like Ernie Banks as being Mr. Cub. You have to have his face there. That's just a fact. This guy had incredible chart success and collaborations. So you got to have him there. Public Enemy, they were a staple. They were the most important group after Run DMC and before NWA, and then you had other groups that came along. But their social commentary message connected in wide variety. So they crossed with movies, soundtracks. That they were a way of life. They were huge. So you can't discredit Public Enemy because you can put up Public Enemy's impact as a group against any other group in hip hop, with probably the exception of Run DMC because of what Dream C broke down. But you can put Public Enemy. I think of Public Enemy as a top 5 hip hop group. I will debate that all day. The Beastie Boys, rock, pop, hip hop, and you can say that they could rap. It wasn't what the kind of rap that you would necessarily equate with what Third Base did or what, but they were the pay way for Eminem. They were the pay way for the rock and rap mix and match. Well, now it's insult to put Lil Biscuit, but Beastie Boys they paved a way. So you got to put respect by what they were able to accomplish. So there's no problem with that. And as far as Slick Rick, one of the baddest storytellers ever because, and from Britain too, brother don't get his due. The thing is that everyone talk about Rakim, KRS-One, and rightfully so, and Kool D, etc. But Slick Rick could make a strong case because his influence and style can be heard on Snoop's. They sampled, covered him. So did Outkast. Remember when people said don't bite, no cover? Well, they both covered him. Lottie Dottie was covered by Snoop and Outkast. So do the figure. And you know what? Slick Rick's style and harmonizing wouldn't be far-fetched for Drake and Kendrick Lamar if you really listen at his syllabus and how he presents, because he had a cool flow and a style, but it had a step into both worlds of streets and the street smarts and the book smarts. So he's an underrated character and fixture in that. So the folks in the know. So I had no problem with what he picked. And people know there's the tension and obvious beef with him and Jay-Z. Ask yourself though, Jay-Z got big and all that, but he didn't really ever surpass LL Cool J in my personal opinion with his records. He never had that, because I could look at LL and he caught a lot of backlash for Bigger and Deffer, but he came back with Mama Said Knock You Out. And then, of course, his debut and his impact. So he was a hit maker. And he didn't do it with a lot of duets either. Remember the era he came in, that was not the happening thing. But he did have hits, though. A lot of them. So I had no problem with LL's Mount Rushmore Def Jam. And I think it's a good discussion to have because when you're really being honest about who represents a company, and you can't really argue against those four. Not if if you're real versed in hip hop, then you ain't gonna argue Slick Rick. And LL Cool J, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys speak for themselves. I'm not the biggest Beastie Boy fan per se, but you can't even argue against their impact, especially at that time for white rappers to come out, but then also hit like they did. And they maintained different bases of people that respected what they did. You know, just like Rick Rubin doesn't get his due as a producer like he should, because he's top 4 Mount Rushmore hip hop producers for me, period. But that's another story, another video. But I got no problem with LL making what he's saying. And for the record, of course, I'll take LL over Jay-Z today and twice on next Sunday. It ain't even close to me. Because LL could battle rap. He did all the stuff that Jay-Z did, period. When you think about it, you know. And if you give him Beyonce to do hooks with, he'd even have more hits because he had crazy commercial appeal. Some of it just worked against him because he had more of appeal to the ladies, which was unheard of at that time. But LL did do battle raps. Remember, he went up against Kumo D and Ice-T. And remember, Jay-Z's career didn't really jump off until he did the duet with Foxy to 95. Because remember, his 80s career, that was not happening. They tried. They don't tell you about that. They conveniently shave off 5 or 6 years of his career, despite how he could battle freestyle. He didn't hit till like 94, 95. And he didn't hit like that until after Biggie and Pac were gone, whereas LL Cool J was front and center on the front line. And he was hitting in the 90s when the other heavyweights were there. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shit review if you like. Please hit that membership, because when you do the request videos, I'll get them back to you. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay up, stay clear. And I'm back. Peace.